Hi everyone, Clusimall Designs here, and this is part 1 of the Tamiya 1/32 scale F-16 Fighting Falcon build. Now this variant here is the CJ Block 50. There are different variants out there and different companies that make the 1/32 scale F-16, so it's really up to you on what one you want to go with. But this is the one I went with just because I'm used to building Tamiya and I really like their stuff. And with this one here, it does not disappoint. I must admit, if there are F-14s and F-15 models built like this one, my goodness, I think those other kits would be worth double the price they are, because wow, this one is engineered and the options that come with this are amazing. I can't say enough. I build a lot of models, and you know, some of my biggest gripes with some of the models is one, the plastic quality, and seam line placement, things like that, which we'll get into as I build this one, and of course options. And some of Tamiya's airplanes lack that. Not this one. Definitely not this one. This one has been actually fun to build. Not saying my other ones aren't fun, but you ever build a model where you find yourself just sitting there sanding and smoothing, and then re-gluing, that kind of thing, and you're not really having fun building? Does that make any sense? This one's been fun. This one's been a lot of fun so far. So without any further delay, let's get into what we've done so far. So what we're looking at right here is the housing for the engine. So obviously that's the engine right there. And I believe from what I've seen so far, this engine is going to be able to be put in and out of the plane at will. Again, we haven't gotten that far yet, but usually with my plane builds, I usually build them like showing them like either pre-flight or post-flight, that kind of thing. With this one here, I'm going to do it like it's under maintenance, which means I'm going to have obviously the canopy is going to be open, the engine is going to be open, the nose cone is going to be open, that kind of thing. Like, it's anything that can be open is going to be open to show like the avionics bay, things like that. And I know a lot of you out there is going to be like, well, you're not going to be able to see the interior. You're doing all this work and you're not going to be able to see it. Well, not the case with this, right? Because one, this whole back is going to be exposed. So really, you're going to see right through the airplane, right? Like, this is the back of the airplane. So you're going to be able to see right through to the front, right? You're looking right down the intake. Well, part of it. And that's awesome. I've never seen that in a model kit, right? Because usually with the other planes, you're looking down the intake, right? But then you're stopped by the fan, and then it's black. Like, you don't see through the fan, obviously. Because now that we're exposing the engine's completely out of the plane, right? That's what usually prevents you from seeing through the intake, right? Is right there. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So the first thing, obviously, you do, this is two parts. The white part that you see, and then this part that you see was two parts that you marry together later, which I'll show you. Now, they are married together now, but the first thing first was to obviously get this interior color going. Now, because I use sprays, Tamiya never made like an interior green kind of color, right? So after priming it in gray, I used this pearl green, and then at a distance I used mustard yellow, and then I came up with that color there. So that mimics that interior, and try and get into the light a bit, that interior green color that I was going for. And then see where the rivets are? I just used that titanium right there, that rub, and I just kind of rubbed it like that. And then just with a dry brush, I kind of just dry brushed all over with nothing on it, and got that nice metallic look. And that's all I had to do for that. And the same thing for there. Because I'm sure you are going to get some heat in here. I'm not too sure. But it's never going to get really dirty, right? And then for here, obviously you're looking at the I guess the upper portion of the landing gear bay. So this is just primer white and then pure white. And of course I painted this at the same time as I did the intakes. So the same thing, primer white and pure white. And then I did it at the same time as I did this. Now of course you paint them independently, right? And then it goes together, it's like a clamshell. You don't paint it when these are together. You paint it when it's like that, and then you put them together, and then you put them in there like that. So paint, stick them together, put them in. Now you don't, I glue it on the side. See how I have the glue on the side? I don't put glue on the actual seam line because you don't want glue seeping through. So I basically held it together like this and only put glue on the outside. Because you don't want glue going on the seam line. And then you're never going to get sand, you know, well, one, you're not going to want to get sandpaper in there because you're going to sand away all that nice white paint. You don't want that, right? You want that, I'm going to try and get the light just right so you can kind of get that. Maybe it's best I do it on here. You want that sheen, right? See how that's what you want, especially for your intakes. And the hardest part with the intakes, obviously, is to make sure you get no dust or debris or that white goop that sometimes happens when you're spraying white, right? Sometimes it wants to drip or something. So you're talking a good 3 or 4 coats of the whites. You know, prime it in white first, and then just take your time with it. And then you get that nice sheen. And then of course underneath, right there, that's for your front landing gear. And there's nothing there. And then when the time comes, see if I can do this. We put it together, right? If I can get it together. You will have that seam line there, but I mean, that's not a huge deal. But you'll have that nice, clean, white, shiny look through. And then this will attach underneath here. And then you'll be able to see, you know, straight through like that, especially from the rear end, right down to the front of the plane. So all that detail will show through. And then of course, you know, more painting and stuff will have to go into here because this is the other side of this, right? And then this will eventually seat into here, but opposite, right? This will actually sit like that, but I'm just showing you for argument's sake, kind of like that. So you're going to be able to see right through the plane. So yeah, like I said, this is just like one beautiful model kit. You're going to be able to pose the flaps on this. Obviously you got the compartment opening here to expose the cannon. The tail here is the top tail piece obviously is put on independently. Makes that easier to paint. But even like the plastic, it's not too hard, it's not too soft. So it makes it easier for sanding and shaping. It's just this is all one, or this here is a piece, this here is another piece, but the wings is all one piece. So it's just, again, this is one beautiful model kit. So that's all the work we've done so far on this. You know, lots to come yet on it, but again, it's just the F-16 from Tamiya is very beautiful. So stand by for you know, part 2 on this, as well as my other builds. You know, I got a lot on the bench, you know, a lot on the go, but it's you know, I like to have many projects on the go, as you all know. So And more to come on this, as well as I have 1/4 scale F-18s, but our Canadian CF-18s that we'll be doing, and many, many more. But again, if you're interested in a 1/32 scale model in fighter, get this one. Hands down, get this one. You're not going to be disappointed. So thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and give me your thoughts on what you think of this model and the other fighter models out there that we haven't seen on this channel, but what you think is the best 1/32 scale fighter model out there. So thanks so much for watching, and see you soon. Bye.